Hey there, lovely Patreon peeps. I just thought I would share with you something a little special while you wait on the rest of the Inktober stuff, and that is a little sketchbook tour. Especially during Inktober, I have filled this thing up to the maximum. So before I retire this puppy and put him away and start up my brand new one here. Ooh, look, it's lime green. Or chartreuse, really. Before I start up my new one and finish up the last 5 of Inktober that I need to do, I just thought as a little special treat for you awesome Patreon peeps, I would do a little sketchbook tour of everything that's in this one before it gets put away with all the others in the archive. So anyway, this is a Strathmore mixed media. I really love it because of how thick the pages are. So you could do anything from markers to liquid ink to even paints if you want to. So it's one of my favorites. I love these thicker papers with a nice flat finish. So, you know, nothing too textured. So without further ado, let's go to page 1, which you might recognize right there on my Patreon page. These are the tier picks that I made for each of the tiers. So yeah, we got the Skulliger Army and the Nosferatus. And yeah, as you can see, I only did half of it, so when I scanned it the computer, I just flopped it, mirrored it, put it together in Photoshop, and voila! You have the 2. But yeah, you can see some of the detail in here. These were fun to make. Fun to come up with all the different tiers for each thing. So, yep, page 1. Page 2, we have an Alolan Raichu sketch. I think I drew this one like right during the big hype of Pokemon Sun and Moon, before I actually played the game and realized it's crap. Nonetheless, I still love Alolan Raichu's design. He's a little surfer, a little punchy surfer dude. It's just the game itself is not one of my favorites. So I finished it though. I finished the game and haven't touched it since. It's definitely not one of my favorite Pokemon games, but I'm holding out for the Sinnoh remakes. They're coming. I promise you they're coming. So next we have a Megamouth shark for Shark Week. I drew this during Shark Week, which is the 2nd week of July. So it shows you how old this one is. But yeah, Megamouth shark. He doesn't get as much love as he needs. My marker ran out like right around here, so I was able to finish coloring him, but I don't know, looks sketchy, looks kind of cool. It's a sketchbook. It's supposed to have some sketchy stuff in here. Speaking of sketchy stuff, that's a funny little I think that's a Jackson shark that I just started to draw. And then to sort of show how full this thing is, I ran out of room for Inktober, so I started turning, flipping it upside down and backwards and drew wherever I could. And this is just some Halloween funness, kind of semi-based off of vintage Halloween pictures I found online. Because, you know, vintage Halloween's always creepy. And over on this side, we have more Sharkies for Shark Week, as well as some fun sea corals and deep sea sponges and sea stars. At this point, I was really addicted to watching the deep sea ocean dives from Oceano, I think it was the name of the explorer. But they would actually live stream all of their deep sea dives, and they were going like hundreds of meters down. It was quite amazing. And so I would watch these live streams at work, and I would kind of draw whatever I saw there. So it was a lot of fun. Found some pretty cool corals and everything. So, fun practice. And of course, Sharkies. He's asking, is it October yet? I know, right? October is awesome. And then this was the start of some other stuff that I was watching during the deep sea dives. But then it's only half finished. But then I used the other side of the page for Inktober. Make the most out of your sketchbook. Use the front and the back. And then Pennywise from the new It movie. Did this a few weeks before it came out. I was excited, and it's an awesome movie. Need to watch it if you haven't. Yeah, it's like they all float. And then more deep sea dive stuff. This was a very interesting coral thing that had all these holes in it so it could filter feed whatever was down there in the cold, dark depths. And then this, I have written here, Eulagska gigantea. I think it's some kind of deep sea worm thing, microscopic. I don't really quite remember, that's going a ways back, but it looks freaking cool, like a weird alien. Everything down in the deep sea kind of looks like it's from an alien planet, you know? So fascinating. Oh, here we go, another sideways one. We got Chucky! During this phase, I was kind of obsessed with Bendy and the Ink Machine and Cuphead. So it's all that 1930s kind of rubber noodle arm kind of style. And here's me trying to do Pennywise and that same kind of thing. I kind of abandoned it. Wasn't happy with where it was going. But Halloween, homemade vintage ideas, just notes. I use my sketchbooks as like places to put notes too. Just ideas for how I wanted to decorate this year. More Halloween stuff. Yes, I'm addicted to Halloween even when it's not October, obviously. And then here's a little bat guy I made, and again, I only do half of it, and then so when I put it in the computer, I just flip-flop it, and he's ready to go. But he's just a cute little baddie. Little baddie guy. And a corgi. Gotta love them corgis. Corgi and a pumpkin. And then, yeah, this was a, what do you call it? My brain right now. And this was like an in memoriam piece that I did for the very first actor who put on the Godzilla suit. He played Godzilla. And I don't want to attempt to say his name right now without looking at a reference because I might butcher it. But he passed away this year, and I love Godzilla, so as a little momentum for him, I drew a little portrait of him with a little Godzilla pin. He was the very first Godzilla. Trying out different pens. Practice sheet with all kinds of pens, trying them out. Nibs and such. Oh. Extra papers. I keep extra papers in here so when I, work with an ink that's going to bleed through, kind of like this one, it doesn't completely bleed on the next page. So I always have like extra pages in here for that. And then this in the next few pages, for some of the stuff, was all for a commission that I was hired to do for a guy on Twitter, where for $20, he was going to pay me for the header and the icon for his page, and I finished it, as you'll see some of the finished stuff in here, but he never paid me. Yeah. I never sent him the final stuff. Like, I had it all scanned in, I had it all resized and ready to go, and since he didn't pay me, I didn't send him the final files, and so he just took the proofs that I sent to him on Twitter DM and used that, and still didn't pay me. So yeah, fun times. So yeah, that's that. And then you might recognize that guy. Another Inktober, using the front and back because I was running out of pages. I love Animal Crossing. Teeth, you might recognize that. Some concepts for teeth. The teeth poster. Another Inktober. The amazing Tim Curry in legend. And then we have more of the commission that I was never paid for. I still really like this design here. I might clean this up and change some things about it and use it as my own, you know, because I might as well get the most out of my work. But yeah, just more proofs for that. And then here's what we ended up going with. So yeah, just imagine that, but flipped on both sides. And then work for the banner. He mostly does horror on his Twitter, so yeah. Just bummed that he never paid me. More stuff for his banner, more creepy faces. Creepy faces, this one's my favorite. And I think we ended up going with something similar to that too. Creepy faces. Aha, another thing you'll recognize. My first pencil proof for the teeth poster. Oh, and then here's the banner thing. So we took that favorite face of mine, put it here. I just cropped it, put it there. And then you have like this girl bending backwards and stuff like that. Kind of like his original banner was the poster from Exorcism, the final Exorcism 2, where it's very similar. But this is more, of course, stylized and everything like that. And I was really quite happy with how it turned out. Again, big bummer. That's why you pay your artist people. Oh, another sad death this year. We had Toby Hooper passed away this year. Gosh, so many horror deaths. It's insane. So I had an idea to put Toby Hooper, the creator of the Texas Chainsaw and the mascots. Gunnar Hansen passed away last year or 2 years ago. He's the man who played Leatherface. So here I have, you know, Leatherface, the man who played Leatherface, and the man who made it all a reality as like an homage to him too. Finally, then we're getting to this side. Okay. This is a character that I made. My husband is running a Pokemon RPG, so it's kind of like D&D, where you do tabletop stuff, but it's a Pokemon game. And so this is my trainer with her Piplup, her starter Pokemon Piplup. I know, it's kind of silly. I still tried doing the anime thing because it's, you know, it's Pokemon. It's a good or bad effect, I don't know, either way. But she's supposed to be a world-class swimmer, so she has broad shoulders and nice muscles. My character has muscles, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. This is a little sketch that I did for funsies, where I'm kind of one night during the summer, we have these giant prairie toads that we get out here in northern Colorado. And we have them around, like in our backyard, we see them a lot. And one night there was this really fat little prairie toad, and we have all kinds of tons and tons of these little pill bugs, you know, the little roly-polies. And so I was out there while Ein was doing his business. I was out there just feeding roly-polies to this prairie toad. Like, I would pick up a roly-poly, put it in front of him. He would bap it with his tongue and eat it. And I would pick up another one, put it in front of him, and he would bap it with his tongue and eat it. And he let me pet him. It was a fun little experience with the wildlife, and it was just fun. They're like little round little toadies. They're so cute. I love them. We never had those in the city, so now that we're out in the country, it's kind of fun. I get to see all these fun reptiles. More Halloweeny stuff. And this was a buggy with a face, because I can. And then there's another thing you guys will recognize, all of the thumbnails for the Event Horizon painting. All the different ideas. And then finally down here is where we start getting into what we ended up with, huh? And then this is concept, like an idea stuff for my Gigan pixelated costume that I made for VinCon this year. So I was trying to figure out if it's all pixelated and I wanted to give it layers, how I would like attach it to my body to still give it the effect and everything. So just, you know, planning stuff out there. It turned out really cool, I think. I'll have to post a picture of it up on the Patreon page so you can see how it turned out. I was really quite happy with it. It was fun. Just don't know why I decided to make this giant cosplay like 3 nights ahead of the actual con, but you know, it happens. Inspiration just struck and I had to run with it. And here it starts the Inktober. First we have the Boar Queen here. And then this was day 1, 2-headed shark. In like this old-fashioned tattoo kind of design. It was fun. I love those old-fashioned tattoos and the way they look. They have a very distinct style to them, and I was just trying to do that. With Inktober, at first I was doing so well because I started drawing it in September. So I would always have it up and ready to go, but then as October progressed and I had to make all 3 of our costumes, and I got, you know, everything got crazy at work, and then I ended up getting the flu. So it's like, yeah, that's why I'm 5 days behind. I will just plan better for next year. Pumpkinhead, which I believe was my most popular one this year. So I will just keep that in mind and try to do more of this. More Inktobers. And more, again, Bendy and the Ink Machine. Critters! Critters! This was fun. It's a lot of fun to do all these. And Gremlins and basket case. Yeah, and then we got the 2 wormy dudes. This is the Doctor from Beyond, and this is Freddy Krueger in his like snaky wormy form, which he only does once in the whole series. But yeah, I this year I decided to really play around with textures with inks. You know, like basket case, you have the basket here and all of his fleshy weird bits. So I try to really do something with textures this year, and it was quite fun. Really fun. And the Skexy, which I will finish up for the printed piece that I will send to all of you awesome Patreon people. I am still planning to put together a little zine. It'll have to be like in 3 or 4 like mini zines in order to fit all 31 in there. But yeah, so I will finish this piece up and you'll have the finished piece in your zine when I have that out to you. I am hoping to have that done before the end of November. So I could ship that off in November, and then for Krampusnacht in December, I'll already have your addresses to send you your Krampuskarten. Excited for that too. I love Krampusnacht. Bad Milo. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's awesome. And then the fleshy weird eyeball monster from Big Trouble in Little China. And it also really looks like a beholder from D&D. But again, with the textures and the fleshiness. More fleshiness from Slither. My Inktober, instead of just horror movie monsters, just flesh. And then Mary Shaw from Dead Silence, which is a great underrated movie. You know, it's not, you don't think a lot with it. It's not a thinking movie. It's just a sit back and have fun movie. I really enjoy it. Sorry, I need to grab a drink. Then we have the Djinn from Wishmaster and his little jewel thing where you summon him. And of course Lodo, Rock's friends. I love Lodo. Oops. Okay, there we go. It's just stuck in the Gentleman from Buffy. Weeping Angel. And that's it. That is it for this one. So I could retire this one, bring in the new one here, and then finished off the last 5 Inktobers in this nice brand new, ooh, oh, nothing quite like the smell and feel of the new sketchbook. Finish off the last 5 Inktobers in here, get all caught up, and then start on our November poster. I'll have a poll up here by the end of the week for what kind of November poster you guys are up for. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you enjoyed this fun little sketchbook tour of my newly finished sketchbook. If you want to see more of this, I'm certainly more than happy to do it in the future. Just let me know. And anyway, I will see you in the Discord group. Bye-bye!